cold. Happy Saturday. This is your lady, Marilyn Monroe, 1/3 of Podcast Culture Club Conversations, coming to you today for Sisterhood Saturday with SwagHer. So I'm excited because I have super dope and amazing girlfriends, sisters, family members that I get to engage with through this wonderful opportunity of a podcast that SwagHer has afforded me. And today I have my good girlfriend, my sister, the sister behind Sistahood for me. That is Rochelle Harrod. She is a entrepreneur, businesswoman. Everything she touch and dabbles with, she perfects it, and she makes it her own. She's super important to me. We met almost probably 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, and we have been connected since. She was a business partner of mine and a damn good one, but she is my sister. So I welcome you, Ro, to SwagHer Saturday.
Thank you. And thank you for that lovely introduction.
Yes.
I am so honored because I love you dearly. And we are definitely not just sisters, but Maryland sisters. So we will always represent and do well. And I'd like to say hello to your lovely audience. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Yes, absolutely. So if you are just tuned in, I am Marilyn Monroe, and this is a SwagHer's Sisterhood Saturday. So please make sure that you follow SwagHer on all social media platforms, including my podcast, Culture Club with a K, Conversations, for more great content and other opportunities of bundling your opportunity to be featured. So if you hadn't already, please reach out to us, SwagHer, to get your feature. It's important. Good morning, Miss Edwards and my girl Lachey. Thank you for joining us here on Sisterhood Saturday. And I have my girl Ro with me today, and she's going to discuss all things Rochelle. Rochelle has a lot of things, a plethora of things that she has her hands in. And I want you to start from the beginning. How did you feel and how did you know you wanted to branch out and become an entrepreneur and a go-getter that you are?
Well, it starts with the way I was raised, because when I was born, I was only given 2 weeks to live. I was born with 3 disabilities: cerebral palsy, spina bifida, and hydrocephalus. And I'm a wheelchair user. And when I was born, the doctor told my parents not to name me. I would never be anything. I would never be a productive citizen. And so growing up, I always wanted to break the stereotypes. I was always motivated to change people's thoughts and minds about not just me, but people with disabilities in general. I come from a military family, and I'm a big time daddy's girl, and I spent a lot of time with my dad. So he was always like, learn anything and everything you can if God gives you an opportunity. So I took that and ran with it because I like to learn everything, just like he said. And it's like whatever I put my hands on, even if it took me a minute to get it, once you find your niche or what works for you, it's like taking to a duck to water. You become a natural at it, especially if God makes it your gift, and as the word says, your gift will make room for you.
That's
So
right.
it just became me.
That's right. So you are, very rarely we have this in our culture, in our community, but you
Mm.
are a junior to your mom. Now, of course, we have juniors to your dads, the boys, but you are a junior to your mom. So tell me about
Yes,
that.
technically, so my mom is Denise Rochelle, and she wanted to put the Rochelle somewhere. And when I was growing up, people called me little niecey, but she's like, no, no, we gotta change that. We gotta make that Rochelle Nicole. And so growing up, most people called me Shelly or little niecey, and I hated it. So I was like, we have to change that. And you've seen my mother. We look like identical twins. But it's like, oh nope, scratch that. Gotta be me. Gotta have my own identity. So then I became Little Ro to
Hmm.
most of my friends. And then as I came into my own, most people just called me Ro or Rochelle. So that's how I developed my own identity
Yes.
separate from my mom. But we're kind of used to it now, and my mom loves it because she was like, you just had to make your own mark," and so that's what I did.
And you make your mark every person you meet, every place you go. Like I said, everything that you touch. So let's talk about, because you have, like I said, a wonderful shopping list of careers and entrepreneurships that you've done for
Yeah.
yourself. Tell me about the very first time you went into business and for yourself.
So the very first time I went into business was with Avon because I was a college student and I wanted a side hustle because I was a full time student, as I said, and I wanted to do work study. And I did end up doing work study, but I was like, okay, God, this ain't quite doing it. I need to learn how to do something fun. So, my first business ever was learning how to sell Avon.
Hmm.
And then eventually, um, I discovered I liked other things. Like I tried every home based company you could think of at first. I tried Avon, then it was Mary Kay. Then for a minute, I did the vitamin and supplement company,
Hmm.
Malaluka. And then in 2011, as I kind of grew a little bit and got into my full time job, I really started to find other businesses I like. Like if you know me pretty well, like yourself, everybody that knows me knows that I love candles. And so I got into Scentsy,
Hmm.
and I also tried Party Light, and the newest venture I have that I've been doing the last couple of years is One Hope Wine. And so I'm a One Hope Wine cause entrepreneur. And so if you go to that site, 10% of every purchase goes towards a charity in the community. But those are just some of the different things that I've tried and done, like you mentioned. But right now, my most popular businesses are doing Avon and Scentsy. And those are my favorite because you get to do as little or as much as you want. There's no quota necessarily. Having a team is optional, and it just motivates you just to be and do who you are without the necessary pressure. And so when you don't have that pressure, that's when it's easier to make things fun and enlightening and enjoy having a side income because every little bit helps. Whether
Yeah.
it's helping you um, pay your cell phone bill, or in my case, um, saving up to get a new wheelchair.
Okay. So you keep a fresh ride because I
Got to.
since I've known you, you've maybe had three.
Yeah.
So how maintaining that part of your day-to-day life, with the everyday part, because that's a very much important part of your life, that
Yeah.
having that access and that transportation. So
Yes.
tell me about like that your day-to-day life with your chair and how, because again, you make sure you keep a fresh ride.
So that's actually the most challenging part of my life at times, and I'll tell you why. Because you have to get a prescription to even get a power chair, and then you have to meet with the seating clinic and get measured so that your chair can be measured and fitted to you. And then, according to your disability, the physical therapist who does the evaluation will tell you different enhancements the chair may need, like elevate, tilt, recline, and all those things. And I love that I have a power chair that does all those things because it helps
Mhm.
to keep me independent. I do not have an aide. I've always done everything for myself and been totally self sufficient. So part of that is having a fully working power chair, doing the updates, getting the batteries changed every year, and getting the motors fixed. But the hard thing that they don't tell you is that when you get your chair through insurance, not even the repairs are done without a prescription. So, what I've
Mm,
had to do in the last couple years, especially since COVID, because COVID back in 2020 was hard on everybody. And there
yeah.
was a situation where my chair broke, and I couldn't get it repaired because nobody was really coming out during COVID. And then when I did get somebody to come out, it was determined that I needed new motors, and they dragged their feet about approval. So I spent part of my life savings during COVID to buy a rental so I couldn't get, around. At first, when that happened, I actually had to use my manual chair fully for like 3 4 weeks when that happened, which isn't a bad thing. But when you also have asthma, it can wear you out and exhaust your body. So what ended up happening was the rental that I had, I ended up buying
Mm,
with my life savings, because when you have work and things you have to do, you
yeah.
can't wait on insurance to hold you up, especially where you still know you got places to be and people to see. And I just didn't want to wait on somebody to help me. The only thing I will ever wait on is God. That is the story of my life. Other than that, you know me. I'm always on
The
go.
gun. You
You
are.
know.
And let's talk about that. Your travel, like you are very self-sufficient. And that's your mission. You make certain that you're doing everything else everyone else is doing. Because
Yes.
you're cooking, you're traveling, you travel more than me. And I mean, you're always in touch. You're definitely true definition of sisterhood because you are so important and key to everyone that surrounds you. You're probably everyone's that you know's best friend.
Pretty much.
You are. And the thing about the sisterhood you offer us and the love that you offer all of your friends is one thing that separates you from so many others is you show up. You
Yeah,
show up
you
each and
you
every
you
time.
you can find me in North Carolina. You'll find me in Philadelphia. You'll find me in South Carolina. As long as I can get a ride, once I get off that Amtrak, I'm good to go.
Yes, you show up and that's what I could say so much about you. And you show up in different ways, and that doesn't necessarily have to be, knocking at the door. But you show up as in like you want to put the face to the voice. You're like FaceTime, and you're so connected. For me, that's what sisterhood is about. That is important for me. Me being
Yes.
away from home, hundreds of miles away from home, I miss my family, I miss my friends all the time. So the love that you give me, and we don't even have to talk every day. It's just the love you show is extraordinary. So let's talk about love for real.
That is so funny right now because everybody seems to be on me about that. And only because love at this age looks different. Most people don't realize, black don't crack. So come my birthday in March, I will be 48. Yes, I know, to the people in the audience, I do not
Woo!
look
You look
that
good.
old. So love for me right now looks like dating to collect information. I do not have a serious boyfriend, and I don't think I will for a while until God presents somebody that has themselves in order.
Mm,
And I'm just at a place in a space in my life where God is preparing the table for me, not necessarily in the presence of my thine enemies, but I'll say He's preparing the table to make sure that I'm patient and that I have the right mate because we're too old to be doing a build a mate. And I'm
yes.
not saying someone has to have it all together, but communication is key and honesty is key. And one should never make promises that they can't keep. And the problem with dating is that when people show up, they show their representative for like the first 3 4 months. But the way that God made me and set me up as a minister of the word, and being the real person that I am, I get in trouble. Why, you ask? Because with me, what you see is what you get. I don't send a representative nowhere. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm gangster off the bat. So for me, it's like your word means a lot to me from the
Yeah.
jump. And if you can't keep it, then it's gonna sever a few things. There's that saying that when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And I'm
Yes.
a firm believer in second chances. But after that second chance, you might not see me again ever. We meet people and we want them to be forever, but sometimes those people only are a season to teach you a lesson. And that's hard because I'm a person that makes lifetime type of friends.
Yes.
But sometimes um, God will show you why you dodged a bullet with that person, or that you weren't the problem. And it's funny because I'm the type of girl, because I am real and authentic. My exes ended up coming back, and it's like, do I give them a second chance? Do I spin the block? Yes, no. Some people I have spun the block with, but that doesn't work for everybody. And so now I'm just in a season where whatever happens, happens. And, either you're going to put up or shut up. You know, the word says, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. And when you're a natural alpha and a go getter boss, most men cannot handle that. And to be honest, there are too many betas out here pretending to be
Mm.
alphas, pretending to say
Ooh.
that they can handle um alpha woman. And I'm not trying to man bash, but a lot of men will say, you supposed to submit. You want me to submit? Give me something to submit to.
Woo.
You
So
want
so
to
we
make an impression on me?
mm,
Take me out of survival mode and keep me in lady mode. And if you
mm,
really want to get to know
woo,
me, you'll figure out what you need to do to keep that going.
mm. Spoken by Pastor Rochelle Harrod. I
Yeah.
have the wonderful, wonderful, amazing Dr. Shawnee Ward tuned in, and she said, "My Lord, yes, speak." She said she I know she's laughing. She said no more build a mate, and that's true. And then I
Yes.
have the wonderful Miss Edwards saying facts. So yeah, this is true. This is so true. You are ministering. Oh
Yeah,
goodness.
so sometimes you have to be ready to enjoy your singleness and be comfortable with you for a while until God sends that right person.
Yes.
But my problem is that men who think they can compliment me, some lead with their pockets, but it's not necessary. Now, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have someone who can provide, but the
Yes.
balance is knowing and also being there for me emotionally and understanding who I am, and
Mm-hmm.
not being with me and then spending a lot of time with me and then you say what you don't like about me
Yeah.
only to drop me and leave me hanging.
True.
And or you can get the other type that is there for you emotionally, but when they go through stuff they totally shut down and become a different person and say, well, oh, I didn't think I was man enough for you.
Mm.
But sometimes you just have to let that person deal with their relationship with God and let God work them out and leave them where they are, because there has to be a balance. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot let the relationship itself or or the person's situation drain you, because um a good friend, a fellow pastor friend told me, Pastor Janine, bless her heart, some people love by the gallon and some people love by the paint. And if
Mm.
you love and give by the gallon, you are not going to be understood by the person who only loves by the paint.
That's right.
And so I'm comfortable in my skin and who I am. What God has for me is for me. It's good to test the waters and figure out what you like, but at what cost? Sometimes you just got to wait on God to do what he do
Yes.
and
Yes.
guard your heart even in this
Yes.
dating game, because at a certain age you get too old to be casual and play games. Step up or step off, be real.
Yes.
Life is too short.
I agree. We have some great people that's tuned in. I have Vanique White. She's tuned in. She said, "Hey sis," and
That's my bestie and my armor bearer, by the way.
Rain Williams said, "I look like Diane Carroll more than Marilyn Monroe." Funny story. I'm not trying to be Marilyn Monroe. My mom named me as a nickname Marilyn Monroe, and I changed the spelling to the state of Maryland in which I'm from. So, but I'm very much feminine, girly like Marilyn Monroe. Check the article on SwagHer, by the way. So back
Which
to
is phenomenal.
thank you. So back to thank you, Rain. I appreciate that though. But I like Diane Carroll. But you just ministered. You just ministered because I was gonna get touch on your ministry. You ministered right into exactly what we all needed to hear, because a lot of times a lot of women are dating right now or trying to look for a partner. And in this time, I'm sure it's difficult. I'm not in the market, but in this time I'm sure it's difficult. So you just really, really gave some free game. That was really good free game. So
Well,
thank you.
I'm gonna take it a step further. You really want to wait on God to choose your mate, because you don't want to end up with somebody raggedy because you settled. In other words, I have male best friends, for example, and one of my male best friends told me sometimes you just got to um, observe and see what somebody's about, because you don't want to end up with somebody that you got to give the acronym GAME to. You know what GAME stands for?
Tough.
Grown man education.
Mm.
And, you know, if you got to give them grown man education, then they ain't for you.
Mm.
And
Ooh,
you just get tired of repeating that mistake. But I will say for the fellas, the same goes for women. If you got to give her grown woman education, if you got to keep showing her her mistakes and not correcting her in love, then she might not be the person for you.
yes.
You got to watch for signs to see if you settled versus is this God
Mm,
showing you the lesson, because everybody you come across in life is either going to be a lesson or a blessing. There is no in between.
yes. Yes.
And sometimes it is hard to let go because the people you thought were going to stay for a lifetime, again, were only meant for a season.
That's true.
And so I've learned that lesson several times over, and I'm tired of repeating that mistake. So I'm glad that I'm comfortable in my own skin and that I love who I am. I'm
Yeah.
content with being alone until God shows up with somebody. Do I miss companionship? Yes, but God gives me so many other great things to do.
Yes, he
The
does.
greatest thing that I love doing is providing people with resources, making sure people are connected, making sure that they have things in order to get what they need. And that gives me enough on my plate.
Mm-hmm.
Being an entrepreneur is just the icing on the cake because you get to meet great people and have fun and spread a little joy. It's the small things.
It is.
We're living in a different time now where resources are limited, but God didn't set us up with a poverty spirit. If we truly love Him and know Him, then we know that He didn't design us to live lives just to pay bills and not have a little fun.
That's right. That's right.
And you
So
can't keep that poverty state of mind. You just can't.
you can't. So you have quite a few people tuning in. Miss White, Miss Bowman. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, of course, Miss Edwards and then my girl Rain. If you all tuned in and you hear my voice, make certain that you are following Swag Her on all social media platforms for great more content. If you're interested in spotlight of sisterhood Saturday or Sunday, please inbox me and we'll make it happen. But this is the
Yes.
final question I have for my wonderful guest, Ro, my sister, Ro. I want you
I
to talk
love you
about,
too, sis, more than you know.
she can see it.
And
We,
I meant what I said. Get that van and come get me. I ain't playing.
I
If
know,
I gotta drag
I know,
Monique with me, we all coming to
I know
South
you keep saying,
Carolina.
he was like, you need to get your band equipped for me. I'm going to work
Yes,
on it. I'm going to work on that.
that's a
So
bet.
let's talk about innow.org.
Independence Now, that's the company I work for. That's my 9 to 5. I provide peer counseling and support for people with disabilities. I'm the independent living specialist for Prince George's County.
Tell me
I
more.
actually been there for 17 years and it has been a great joy and a great lesson. There isn't nothing that God hasn't taught me on that job. It has been an experience and I'm grateful.
What is the upcoming event for any upcoming events ending the year for you guys that we can kind of look out for?
So, one of the things that we'll be doing, my deputy director, Shannon Minnick, and I um, will be looking for people to donate gifts for consumers for our consumer holiday party.
Mm-hmm.
There's a list that she put out that is on our website. If you go to www.innow.org, you will see all the great things that we do. This year, we're having the consumer holiday party at the Silver Spring Recreation and Aquatic Center. And we need donations for holiday gifts to give out to our consumers. We're also looking for folks to donate because we've already reached out to sponsors and we're
Yeah.
waiting for a response for gift cards to help host future consumer events like quarterly, every third Thursday of the month, we do a consumer cooking class that teaches people with disabilities how to cook on tabletop appliances, whether it's a George Foreman grill, a rice cooker, an air fryer, and that's funded by the health department. But sometimes, on occasion, when you're a nonprofit, you get funds quarterly. And so sometimes we use donations for discretionary funds to do awesome things. We also have a youth program, which you can learn more about, the Maryland Youth Leadership Forum, that does things for our teens and youth with disabilities. And so it's just an honor to be part of such a great organization. And we also have a specialist for Montgomery County, and we have Money Follows the Person, which is our department that helps with nursing home transition, and a supports planning team for those that are coming out of the nursing facility and
Okay.
transitioning back in the community and wanting to get ongoing services like a personal care attendant and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So it's an honor to be a part of that team and be a part of the great work, because I know that I have a calling on my life, and it's just so phenomenal to be a part of something special that God allows you to just step into. And some work that you do, as long as God is at the forefront, it's not just your job or your career, it's your God-given assignment.
That's right. I
I
love that.
believe that everything I work on has been my God-given assignment.
And you do it well. You do it well. You definitely do well. So tell the great people of SwagHer and Culture Club and all the viewers that are tuned in. Miss White said she's going to donate again this year. So Miss White, thank you for donating.
Mm.
But tell everyone where they can find you. Um, and I guess you did mention about the donations, but where they could just give that website again.
It's www.innow.org, and you'll find all of our contact information.
And where can they find you on social media?
I'm on Facebook. I am also on Instagram. Same handle, Road in Harrod. I'm also on TikTok. And something I don't talk about that I should talk about more often, I actually have a podcast also, but I took a little hiatus on Spotify. It's monthly tidbits and motivational moments with Elder Rowe. I
Okay.
used to do them every other month, but I changed it to every 6 months because life has happened. But I'm going to get that back up and running.
That's right.
Um, a lot of things that I've gone through the last year or two have provided content. And the reason I'm sensitive about that podcast is because it's so ultra personal and real. And most of the solutions I use when I discuss things are scripture based. So it's
Yeah,
not for everyone. But I'm also very real about my mistakes,
I
because
love
we're
it.
all human at the end of the day. And I want to give a shout out to my Perfecting Place family for coming on to support me during the podcast today. I love you guys. Shout out to Pastor B and Lady B.
Awesome. So with your perfecting team that you have, make sure each of you tune in for more. Like I said, Sisterhood, Saturday or Sunday. I have it either day. If you're interested, inbox me again. Or if you'd like to be featured with SwagHer magazine, you can go to swagheronline.com. This yesterday they dropped a spotlight on me, so you can actually learn more about me and how I got my name, as well as the podcast that I have. So I really appreciate you, Ro, for coming. Again, you're my sister, beyond Sisterhood Saturday or Sunday,
Mm.
in that matter. And I love you, and I thank every one of you for tuning in today. Miss White is so amazing. She even dropped the link for you, Ro. She's super
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, she's on it. That's why she's my right hand.
That's right. That's right. So, with that said, I love you and God loves you too. We'll see you tomorrow on Sisterhood Sunday. I have a next spotlight. Tune in, stay tuned. Have a good day.
Thank you, everybody. God bless.